I want to get this one up quick because there is a game tonight, but perhaps there's no indication about the popularity of the Fever more so than the reaction to a rotation player, not even a rotation player, a back end of the roster player being waived and then signed by another team. Of course, when Celeste Taylor was waived by the Fever, a lot of fans were upset, and I understand why. They are looking at what she has a reputation of being, which is a defensive player. Her reputation that she is going to make an impact on that end of the floor. And then there is the fact that the Fever were missing that kind of player. With that said, at the time, I wasn't able to offer an informed enough opinion on the topic to make a judgment one way or the other. And I think Damiris Dantas has actually come in and played well for Indiana. So that needs to be noted. It was Dantas who replaced Taylor, and I think she has done well. She had 7 points in just 7 minutes against the Liberty. You can see she could be a stretch big for this team, provide a little bit of size. They've still been searching for that swing player. Hopefully it's Lexi Hull. I think Hull has looked really good when she's been out there with Caitlin Clark and the rest of the starters because she moves without the basketball. She'll attack the basket when in doubt. She hit a big three in the last game, even though they came up short. But these runs that they've made at the fourth quarter against the Liberty and against the Mystics the other day, both came with Hull in the lineup. So perhaps that was solved. Nevertheless, and we'll see if Christy Sides actually follows up on it. That's, something I'm watching to see if she doesn't start, if she's playing a ton or whatnot. But there was an announcement from the Mercury today that made waves, I think mostly because of the timing. And that is that they indeed signed Taylor to a 7-day contract. She's on a 7-day deal, available to play apparently immediately for the Phoenix Mercury. So it will be very interesting to see if she actually gets an opportunity out on the floor for the Mercury, because she never really got the chance with the Fever. So I couldn't, I'd have to go back and watch her at Ohio State to give you a real evaluation. Diana Taurasi, who you see there, is not playing in the game. But with Taylor being signed by the Mercury and the Mercury playing the Fever, the reactions are sure to be plentiful. We'll see if Taylor actually sees the floor, if she makes an impact, what Christy Sides decides to do with that Fever roster. Nevertheless, an interesting story for sure. And the Fever are the kind of team, they're such a needle mover of a team that a move like this will garner reaction when typically a back end of the roster move is not going to do so. Now, there was a little bit of other news with Indiana today that was interesting. They put the All-Star jerseys on sale, and the supply has not quite caught up to the demand when it comes to Caitlin Clark as of yet, because it was just minutes after the jerseys were put on sale that Clark jerseys sold out, both colors. It was like 15 minutes, perhaps. And then you had somebody in the comments asking, is there going to be another drop, or was that the only one? And the Fever said there will not be a restock. I don't understand how the anticipation couldn't have been known for something like this. You didn't know that Clark's jersey was going to sell out. You didn't, figure that at this point in time. I think her Wilson signature basketball line already sold out. All-Star voting was up about over 600,000 votes this year. The number one spot, Clark, versus the number one spot a year ago. Aaliyah Boston was the second leading vote getter in the All-Star game. Obviously, a teammate of Caitlin Clark. So just another example of the kind of season that we're seeing from the Indiana Fever and from Caitlin Clark. And now that her play has really lived up to the hype, that's been interesting to see. And then, of course, there's the never-ending Rookie of the Year debate. one other quick topic I wanted to hit. And Angel Reese gets another double-double in a game against the Liberty. And the double-double streak, to me, is starting to almost hurt Reese in a sense, because it's strangely the only thing people talk about um, when the Sky play, not how well she plays or doesn't play. Because I thought she had a good game against the Dream on Sunday, made a positive impact on the floor in the game against the Dream on Sunday. And when she came in and demanded the ball, I did the video on that, and some people were upset about it. Whatever, I don't care. But she had a good game. Like, getting to the 10th point did not make her game better. And she did not have a good game against the Liberty. She struggled with the length of Breanna Stewart and Jonquel Jones inside. She was just 5 of 17 from the floor. So she did not have a good game because she got a double-double. She had some monster games in that double-double streak. The one against the Fever, specifically. The one against the Storm. I think she had something like 27 and 10 in that game against the Storm. I mean, nobody can question Angel's rebounding prowess or her value on the floor. But now you got people talking about Camila Cardoso's minutes and how much she's playing. And I think that Rookie of the Year debate is starting to influence that sort of stuff, where that double-double streak can be used as a bit of a crutch in the Rookie of the Year debate. I think Caitlin has separated herself and will continue to separate herself. Though, as I've said before, it'll be cool to see them play as fellow All-Stars together. And let's see if Team WNBA can beat Team USA in that game. Team USA, of course, featuring Diana Taurasi, who has a new teammate in Celeste Taylor, even if they're not going to play together. But yeah, the Fever have a couple games this weekend, and we're getting closer and closer to that Olympic break. What are we going to do? What are we going to do during that Olympic break? Right? We're going to have to figure that out. Hit me up in the comments section for that. Links in the description to a couple of the articles I referenced here for Women's Fast Break on SI. I'm going to roll out a player profile series, I think, during the Olympics, to be serious, for all of the women who are on Team USA, because I know there are a lot of new fans who have come in to sort of introduce fans to the players on the USA basketball roster, what they've accomplished in their career, where they are in their career. But let me know if you have any other ideas, of course. And the Indiana Fever season just continues to entertain. That's something that isn't going away.